Unlike many people in Congress, you actually have experience from the 1980s in confronting Donald Trump or disagreeing with Donald Trump. What did you learn from that experience?
I didn't actually learn that much because we didn't have very much personal contact at all. I think I met him 2 or 3 times personally, but he threw a lot of money and political influence around, and he wanted to get his way, and I battled him because I disagreed with him. Mm-hmm. And
he called you names, and
yeah, I don't really remember that. He may have.
But the story I read said he called you Fat Jerry.
Yeah, but was it at that time or later? I don't remember. When he first proposed this gargantuan project, everybody opposed it, and I was one of the everybody's. I mean, all the local legislators, every community group, everybody.
It wasn't just
opposed.
you.
Oh no, everybody opposed it. It was a ridiculous 150-story building surrounded by 7 Chrysler buildings plus television. It was ridiculous, and I thought the design was grotesque too, but that's beside the point. It was much too big, etc. Universal opposition to it. And this was from 1985 to 91. In 91, a compromise was reached. A much smaller project, but still gargantuan. And a lot of the groups that had opposed him supported it, and some of the civic groups did because you're going to get a nice park and various other things. And most of the other, I was a state assemblyman at the time, and most of the other legislators switched from opposition to support. I did not. I didn't like the compromise either. One man's compromise is another man's sellout, depending on your viewpoint. I thought it was still terrible, and I then became the only legislator opposing it for a while, eventually joined by 2 more. And I continued to be one of the leaders of the opposition.
Now, does anything about that experience inform your approach to the current situation?
Not really. I mean, we knew he was unscrupulous, but you knew that from just his general dealings in New York. Many of the people who supported him, whether they were vendors or contractors or architects, ended up opposing him politically because they didn't like the way they were treated. They didn't think they were treated fairly, but that was really later. No, I just thought he was overbearing. I thought he was overbearing, and I thought he felt he could get his way no matter what because he had the immense money and the resources, and that was wrong. I should make it clear, I opposed the project for a reason that almost nobody else opposed it. Mm-hmm. Most people opposed, and that's why I didn't compromise. Most people opposed the project for all the standard reasons you oppose a giant real estate project. It's too big, too tall, block the sun, too many people, too dense, all of which was true. I opposed it because it was built on a rail yard which I wanted to keep operating. And I had told him when he first bought the land in 1985, I told him that if he designed his project in such a way as to allow the rail yard to continue operating underneath it, and that could have been done because it was a 70-foot drop, then I might support his project, I might oppose it, because I didn't know what it was going to be, but I wasn't going to kill myself. But if he designed it in such a way as to preclude the continued operation of the rail yard, I would do everything I could to stop his project, because I thought the rail yard was vital, because at that time, there were still 500,000 manufacturing jobs in New York City. Half of them, 250,000 in Manhattan below 59th Street, dependent ultimately on rail transportation, and I wanted to save those jobs. And to me, that was the issue.
So do you think of that experience?
And of course, he designed it so it didn't save the rail yard, and that's why I led the opposition.
And do you think of that experience as a fight with Donald Trump that you won unequivocally because it wasn't built?
No, we didn't win. The so-called compromise, which was much too big and large, was built. The rail yard stopped. No, I don't think it was a win at all. Quite the contrary.